What's up, guys? It's Thursday's edition of Money Shots. We have the lovely, beautiful, gorgeous Kelly in Vegas, and we have special guests and apparently special chef Rico Bosco in the building. How are we doing? Popping off on that pizza bowl TikTok. Pasta salad we were talking about before the show made my mouth freaking water because I haven't eaten all day. He's talking about fresh mozzarella.
Yep.
It just sounded really delicious. Rico, it's been a long time. How are you, man?
Doing all right, 8-0 in the last 8 for college basketball after everybody said I was dead Saturday, but I only went 3-3. I just added Kansas like an idiot. I said that was the best bet, so that hurt. But yeah, I mean, it's Super Bowl week. It's now when you're getting into college basketball, it's a good time.
I don't know whether Kelly knows she's muted or not, but
my French bulldog is snoring incessantly right now, and I didn't want anybody else to think those noises were coming from me. And I'm trying to retweet the show. Remember,
Kelly
guys,
had a bunch
I'm really
of
bad at technology.
She's just over there, just ripping farts. That's actually
that's it.
You're hearing.
If you guys can see her, she's like 3 feet away from me, and she's just going. Like that's how she literally breathes. So God knows what you guys think is actually going on.
Yeah, just over there, just ripping them. It is a big week this week. Obviously, we got the big game Sunday, which we were talking about earlier. I think it should be on a Saturday. Am I like Ev was saying it earlier? Like, I feel like we're so far past this, like football being on like it has having to be on the Sunday. I feel like we should just move it to Saturday. As much as I love college basketball, I feel like the big game, that Monday, that Sunday's scary, especially if you lose all your money on the Super Bowl Sunday. Those are pretty rough. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Kelly put on her glasses.
I did. The commenters are already loving Rico's glasses on Twitter, and so I was like, oh, well, if they like Rico's glasses, I'll put mine on too. Oh, see,
yeah.
Now we're just ready for the Super Bowl.
I'll give the kids a lesson. If you sleep in your contacts for months at a time, you eventually get an eye infection. You got to wait a week before you have to.
Okay, I've never had contacts, and even I know you're not supposed to sleep with contacts in, Rico.
You sound like my brother. My brother got the worst eye infection, and his shit like matted shut because he just slept in his contacts. They just left him in his eyes forever. It was not the smartest move, but hey, we live and we learn.
God, no comment.
All right, nerds. Glasses just made Kelly hotter. She's already hot. So I don't know. I mean, that must be.
I'm not gonna lie. Mine are blue light glasses, and all I feel is like it makes it more amplified.
Womp womp womp.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we want to start off with, guys? I mean, the NBA's been crazy.
The NBA has been crazy. A lot of people giving the Suns the trophy already. I'm not sure I'm buying it. While Phoenix is going to be a little bit better with Kevin Durant, everybody pump the brakes.
I just wrote something. Dave had that question. He obviously hates LeBron, and
right.
LeBron on the court is great, but off the court is just insufferable. So I'm not a fan really either. And Dave's question was, what team would LeBron do you associate LeBron with at the end of his career? Because
I think about Miami.
He burned Cleveland and came back and saved face winning that title. He was in Miami for what, like 4 years, 5? Like, was it that quick?
I think about the big three, and then that's all I think about.
Yeah, I mean, I think LA LeBron is my least favorite LeBron. When he was with Miami, I didn't have a problem with him on or off the court. Now that he's in LA, it's just like, it's almost like he has that LA, I'm way better than you mentality. Like his quote the other day was like, I just want to go to Target and get a Starbucks like normal people. Bro, shut the fuck up. I don't even want to go to Target and get a Starbucks. Like, I go pick up my shit or have it mailed to my house. Like, give me a break. Like, this whole, like, I just want to be normal thing. No, you don't. Then I just want to be worth $500 million. Like, what are you getting at here?
Yeah. The other part of that, too, is that Durant now is a vagabond himself, too. What's actually hilarious, it's not his fault, but he started in Seattle, and then they moved the team to Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
so it's
he
not
was supersonic.
But he wore 2 jerseys in the first 2 years. He was in Oklahoma City for like 8 years. Then he does, the stop in Golden State where he obviously succeeds. Brooklyn's a disaster. Now he's in Phoenix. Is he going to go somewhere? Like, it's just crazy to me, I guess, growing up on the NBA that Reggie Miller rather lay in traffic before he left the Pacers. Same with Ewing.
Thank you.
Like, they had it was like, I ain't leaving. Like, these guys were lifers. I think now in the past 15 years, LeBron and Durant are probably the 2 best players of the last 15 years, definitely top 5. And they have no team. They have no teams. It's just like they're vagabonds.
That's what we're seeing in college, though. Now, Rico, it's a trickle down effect. It's like, I'm not happy, I'm leaving. Whether it's for a better NIL deal, whether it's because some coach promised you'd be the starter the first year and then you weren't, so you're.
I want to go ahead and say, for everyone that is leaving, whenever you get money, say if you're leaving LSU, if you're leaving K-State, if you're leaving and you're taking money to go elsewhere, I don't want you to say, thank you so much to my Tiger family, blah, blah, blah. Just fucking go. I'm so tired of that. Like you're getting paid, get your money, go do whatever, but don't thank us. You don't give a fuck. You would have stayed here. There used to be something called loyalty.
I was going to get ready to say, Megan, you just hit the buzzword. The loyalty is minimal at best these days.
Well, the loyalty is all in green these days. And honestly, I don't blame them, and neither should either of you, because this is Money Shots, a gambling show where we take daily shots with our money. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about the Super Bowl first, because we can talk about college basketball towards the end of the show. But I mean, Kelly, we've talked a little bit. I know that you have 2 props that you like a lot. I know that you're really not into a side. I'm having a moral dilemma because my brain wants the Chiefs and my money wants to put on the Chiefs, but I kind of want to be a Philly fan. I kind of want to say go Birds. Like I've been wearing green.
You're too nice to be a Philly fan.
I know, but I feel like I don't know. It just like they're not flipping cars in Kansas City when they win. No one's like showing their little dicks. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just seems like Philly could be like a real fun time if they were to win or lose.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a blast. It's a blast. There's just Megan, just duck in case a battery comes at your head or your snowball comes at Santa.
Come on. I don't know.
Like a good time.
I don't really care about either fan base because I think Kansas City fans are equally as insufferable. And that's because I grew up a Broncos fan and we just absolutely dominated them for years. And then they got Patrick Mahomes and now I have to suffer. Like I have family members that will text me Chiefs shit. And I'm like, bro, my entire life, I've never seen you in Chiefs gear. Now all of a sudden you're on the bandwagon because you're from Kansas City. Give me a break. I think that it's a really interesting.
Something. We watched the game with them when we were there and like literally they were up by 4 fucking touchdowns. But like every first down was like an uproar. Like I've never heard anything like it.
Like in the makeshift Barstool Sportsbook at the Hollywood Casino before like the real one while it's getting built on the side. And we're like sitting at slot machines, makeshift and there was nowhere. We had to go like upstairs and we're like, guess we aren't VIP. And they're like, yeah, we got a lot of big gamblers down here watching the game. I go, they're up by like 4 touchdowns. Like, go home, go to the tables, go do something else.
Pretty obnoxious. Yeah. But so yeah, that's the dilemma that I'm in. So before we get to Kelly, because Kelly has kind of alluded to her picks, Rico, let's see where your head's at on this game. Like, are you avoiding a side as well? Or are you just going with the props? Okay. So where are we at?
I took the side right away. I got the Chiefs at 2.5. I know that everybody now is gonna be like, oh, that number doesn't. Yeah, I got the Chiefs at 2.5. It's a pretty like. I just look at that as I'm willing to die on that hill.
So what do you think about this comment here?
Yeah, Eagles win. KC can't stop the run. That might be accurate, but their D-line looked pretty good last week against Burrow. Or 2 weeks ago against Burrow. I don't know. You put a plus sign in front of Mahomes. I know there's a lot of questions with the injuries and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of revenge here for Andy Reid, obviously. And I'll take the best player on the field. I just think Mahomes at 2.5. Like, that's a principal bet for me. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that.
And I'm with you. I mean, even, like, obviously he has to have been more hurt that last game because after these 2 weeks of rest, that high ankle sprain, it has to be getting a little bit better.
Well, yeah, Megan, if you're sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber every single night, like, your ankle's going to recover faster than if you're just me laid up on the couch. I mean, come on, give me a break. I think a lot of people don't recognize the power of medicine when you have lots of money.
I will say that I did, even though I do like the Chiefs, I did take a prop for the Eagles to have the first sack, -120.
I like that though.
Yeah, I think that line is going to get to him at some point. It might be, it might take Mahomes just as like until the second half to all of a sudden drop 40, on the Eagles. But I did take that prop. That one was pretty good. I have a same game parlay I'm working on as well.
Ooh.
So do you have a lot of
parlay plus?
Yeah, yes, parlay plus.
Listen, I'm sorry, real quick. I'm with Megan on my confliction, but I'm also with Rico. A, great number by Rico. B, I would love to tease the Chiefs. Why? It goes against everything that I want, but I think this game is going to be within a touchdown either way. So do with that what you will. I am not going to tease them because I am not a totals teaser, especially in the NFL. We've been over that. But God, that just feels like, for me, it feels like just tease the Chiefs and the over and voila, right? But I'm not going to do that. But I will say this. Andy Reid, we all talk about him in two different scenarios. One, off a bye week. Yep, technically bye week last week. And we all know him as an underdog, 12-4-1 in their last 17 in Kansas City as an underdog. So that is another reason why I can't touch the other side with the Eagles, Megan. Trust me, I think this is going to be a knockout, drag-out, awesome game.
See, you said
I like
that.
the sack prop.
And then Mincy said that he thinks it's going to be a shootout. Rico, I'm interested on your thoughts. You think it's going to be more of a knockout, drag-out game? Because Kelly, have you given out your props, the field goals yet and everything? Because I gave
it out on our show on Monday, Megan.
Okay,
I'll give it out because we got a lot more people watching today. But yeah, I'll give out those, and then I got a TikTok that I got to do after this, which is going to be hilarious.
You're welcome.
The field goals? Yeah, you've been on those year.
She said more people watching. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's because Rico's on. Exactly.
Okay.
Rico brings the retweets, the comments.
Anytime anybody can, anytime anybody can lose their mind live on a camera, the views go up. So either way, you're welcome. It's not the knowledge. We never know
what's going to happen. Yeah, you guys, speaking of camera, I just sent Rico a new camera, so that hopefully this fuzziness goes away.
I'm getting dragged. Like, it's bad.
I think you both are doing a great job.
And then the other person's Zoom works, and they're on Zoom. It's killing me. So
we're working on it. We're going to work on remote Rico. We're going to work on it.
There you go. That's what you should change your name to, Remote Rico. That's kind of funny.
All right. So I look at props. We did the show last year with Dave and Dan live. I look at props like when you go. My dad told the story a long time ago. He went to Notre Dame for the first football game. They were in the bookstore for 15 minutes. They each spent like $400. They walk out, and then they go, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? Because the place is so big, you can't get everything. I look at that with props. Like, if you're – like, we did that with Dave last year. Was like, I love the over 2.5. Somebody's going to run a trick play. Like, I love that. And then we were like, all right, I'll buy that sweatshirt. Like, I look at it that. So I'm just going to run down a bunch of things. You guys can either say, like, love or hate. The ones I'm definitely playing, I talked about the Chiefs 2.5. I do think it could be a shootout. I'm leaning touchdowns over 5.5. I like Mahomes over passing yards. I like Pacheco over receiving yards. I like Kelsey over 6.5 receptions. Pacheco is 16.5. Mahomes is 291.5. I'm chasing plus signs. I like this. Mahomes over 2.5 pass and rush touchdowns plus 128. I think he could be scrambling and run one in even with that bad ankle. And I think it's juiced heavily with the minus 2.5 for just passing touchdowns. So, like, you take your shot with that. Players to make a reception over 14.5 minus 106. The Chiefs spread it out. I think the Chiefs number is like 8.5, and the Eagles is like 6. So, and they'll spread it out as well. I think we're going to see a lot of guys catching the ball here, especially in an up and down game. Chiefs win margin 1-6 plus 375. Chiefs 7-12 is plus 525, and then 2 TDs. Hurts 575, Pacheco 1,000, and Mahomes 40-1. Like I said, I get a sneak and I get a scramble, 40-1. I'm looking at that. I would play the sacks over 5.5. And another one I look at, QB Neal, final play, no, plus 180.
I like that.
I don't hate that at all.
Definitely playing Mahomes yards, Pacheco yards, Kelsey receptions, Mahomes over the 2.5 touchdowns with a run, and players over receptions. So I got 5 for sure with my Chiefs, and I could be sold into a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I'm also chasing plus signs. I think that that's really interesting. Now, I will say that laying the juice typically works out really well in the prop market because that's just what the bookmakers are doing. They know that we're chasing plus signs, but there's some definite nice plus money. I mean, it took me probably 3 hours to go through the entire prop section over at Barstool. But what I like how we have it on the website, Megan, is it breaks it down. Like you can have the whole page on just one, or you can just go to like kicker props, which is over 3.5 field goals, which is my best bet. That is a Rico bet. I played it 3 times this year, all 3 games. Did you like that? It's almost like a wildcat. It was 3 times this year. I love it. I love that Rico's such a big K-State fan. And they happen to be all 3 games that I attended, Megan. So I'm not attending this one, but I do expect those defenses.
I think we need to get Kelly to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know, right? Listen, if it was just waste management and I was out there this week, it'd be completely different. But like
This is another one that someone said earlier that I liked. I'd like to be down inside the 5 plus 265. So I mean,
okay,
I'll write that down.
That one's pretty interesting.
I don't hate that.
But yeah, if y'all have any props that y'all like, drop them in the chat, and if I find them or redeem them worthy, I will put them on the screen.
I love that.
So yeah, I am conflicted. I do have money on the Chiefs already, but like again, as the week progresses, these Philly fans, man, I feel like they need something. I already took a World Series from them. I would hate for them, to.
You're terrible.
To lose
I already
twice,
took a World Series from them.
It is what it is. All right. So is that all you guys have for?
Well, yeah. So quick question: who do you look at? It's the Super Bowl gets lumped in as like this great game. A lot of time, if you forget, or people forget, if you just picked one game to watch on a Sunday, a lot of the time,
wouldn't pick this one.
You might fall asleep. No, I'm just saying in that slate, like any game can go bad or go, like it doesn't have to always be entertaining just because it's the Super Bowl. Now these two teams are great, but and especially with the Super Bowl, shit gets weird. Who's a touchdown guy you would look at deep down the list?
I cannot for the life of me. I have looked at that list.
I think it would be hilarious if Tony scored as a Giant fan just to stick it to us. I think he's like 340 or 355. I know he's got the injury, but didn't they look for him early like he had that catch 2 weeks ago and it got knocked out? Was that him?
I don't know. I also know that we offer the octopus on the book, which I think is an interesting bet, especially if you like the Eagles. I feel like Miles Sanders as an octopus play could definitely be something.
What's the octopus play? What's the
octopus? It's to score a touchdown and then to score the 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion. So you get eight points.
So you get the 8 full points.
Has to be direct?
Yeah, it has to be the same.
Yeah, so it's like and it would be an Eagles player because we know the Eagles go for 2 more than any other team.
So again, if I did like the Eagles, and those would be the two that I feel like Jalen Hurts just wants to show off. And if the Eagles do win, Jalen Hurts will score an anytime touchdown by himself. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's my props.
These guys are hilarious.
I
agree with Rico.
Sorry, Rico. You think chasing plus signs? You think Kelsey can win MVP?
So here's my thought process on MVP. It's almost always a quarterback. When has it not been a quarterback? It was Julian Edelman because they didn't do anything and he scored the only touchdown. It was Von Miller because Peyton Manning was basically an offensive coordinator trying to play quarterback, and that defense just killed Cam Newton and he never recovered. I would love for it to be an obscure player. I would love for it to be a tight end or a defensive player. I do not think that's going to be the case. I think it'll be Jalen Hurts.
I think
it'll be Patrick Mahomes.
I think it has to be either quarterback. Whatever team wins, it has to be either quarterback.
I'd love to say that this is going to be a dead under game. It's going to be 17-14. Chiefs defense force a fumble for a late touchdown, and they beat the Eagles, and it's Chris Jones that forces the fumble, and he somehow wins Super Bowl MVP, right, at 40-1. Because I do think he's going to have a big day with some sacks amongst some other things. That's asking a lot, though. You're asking a big-time, event to happen. Those don't happen just every single game, right?
Right.
I would agree that it's going to be a quarterback, but if you wanted to throw a flyer, I'd throw a flyer on a defensive player. Could it be Kelsey? Sure, but he better have 3 touchdowns and, 150-plus yards, right?
I mean, you got to think that they're going to just blanket the fuck out of him. I mean, I know it doesn't work. I know everyone tries.
It doesn't work, Megan, and he is hurt, right? But obviously he's going to get all shot up with, cortisol or whatever, cortisone or whatever they shoot you up with to make you not feel pain.
Bob Baffert comes in from
Bob Baffert
gives you whatever that he's been giving the fucking horses.
But in all seriousness, I mean, he's going to have to fight off the double team. He's going to have to fight off the back spasms. Can he do it? Sure, 100%. I just don't know if I think he is going to be MVP worthy unless he has just a monstrous game. And it would have to be, I know it sounds crazy, but it'd have to be like Patrick Mahomes comes out because he's hurt and Chad Henne's in and they score a game-winning touchdown or something like that. It's going to have to be because think about this. It's not.
Rico, remember if that happened, she just screwed off. She just fucked you 2.5. She just killed Patrick Mahomes if that happens.
Big time.
I don't think so. I think Chad Henne's just fine. I think he's a very serviceable backup quarterback.
He's not fucking Patrick Mahomes, Kelly.
I didn't say he was. But it doesn't. I think it really doesn't always matter, especially when teams game plan for one quarterback and then get another.
That's very true. I mean, I'll give you great counter. All right, that's enough about the big game. Unless you'll have anything else, we'll move on to some college basketball picks before I have to go. hop in line and get my daughter and my son today because my daughter went back to school today because she's not sick anymore. So finally, just probably to get sick again, but it's okay. Rico, let's start with you. Since we haven't heard from you for a while, and we know that you're probably burning at both ends, trying to find winners for us here on Money Shots. What is the play tonight? Because I think I heard you and Kelly maybe having one on the same side.
8 in a row, which is
no big deal.
So yeah, I've been cutting down. You cut down the cards. Cut down the cards. I've been trying to find a dog of the day. Days of winter. It's been pretty good. I haven't had the guts to go money line on a lot of these, which some of them have won outright, which I probably should have. Would have turned more of a profit. I give you the best bet. I think it's Milwaukee -2. Detroit's in the 300s in a lot of categories. Milwaukee at home. I really like Milwaukee here. I would lay that too. UC Santa Barbara, Long Beach State over 144.5. Long Beach State plays at a blitzing tempo, and they're not that great. So, and UC Santa Barbara is going to have to score. Like, Long Beach State has no interest in keeping this slow. I think they'll turn this into a track meet, and they don't have the horses to stop them on defense. I'll take the over 144.5. And then I'm going with Iowa +8. I call it the Bosco bump. I just interviewed Chris Murray. Go check that out.
Oh yeah, you did.
I always do it. But I think again, they can really give Purdue some problems if Edey doesn't get going early and it turns into a track meet. Because listen, I talked to that kid as well. He's great. I think he's very calculated in what he does, and he's got a really, really smart mind. And he's obviously an unbelievable player. But he's 7'4", and Iowa wants to get going and has a lot of guys in that rotation that want to get going. They could take Edey out of the minutes and turn it into a high-scoring affair. I think they can stay within the number. I think they're kind of a live dog. It's tough to go to Mackey and win, but I think Iowa +8 is the play as well.
Megan, I love
that, right?
Yeah, I love these types of situations, right? So here's what's going on. You log into Ken Palm, they make the game double digits. You log into Bartovic, they make the game double digits. Boom. The sportsbook says 8. And everybody's like, what? What a buy low spot on Purdue. They can't lose 2 in a row. Well, guess what? They can. And this is a really good Iowa team that, like Rico says, likes to go fast. And I think this looks like a really high-scoring affair between both of these teams. I understand Boilermakers have a really solid defense, right? But I think Iowa has some edges here. And what I really like, and I've told you guys this several times on the show, is Ken Palm Plus, because I can actually manipulate the data, whether it's home, road dichotomy, neutral court, things of that nature, in games that and you can actually take off like certain games that they lost. So if I want to like exclude the Rutgers game for Purdue, or if I want to take out like a weird game for Iowa that they lost, like most recently Michigan State, right, on the road. Those type of things you can manipulate the data. So what I like to do is be able to say, okay, let's look at Iowa on the road this year, right? Well, typically defenses, offenses, if you're just looking at basic efficiencies, teams tend to play better at home. And it's very rare that I want to back a road team. But let me tell you this. Yeah, well, right? It is true. And that's what actually kept me off UNLV last night. Nice win by Rico. Spoke about it with Jeff on his show. I'm pissed I didn't get to the window with it. 8 in a row for Rico. And the fact that he's on this makes me like it even more. We're talking a very experienced Iowa team, teams that spend a lot of time together, right? Purdue, yes, they have a deep bench, but to me, it's either Edey or it's not. If he has a great game, they win. If he has an off night, not so great. Now, Iowa hasn't been exactly great on the road as of late, only winning 1 of their last 5. So I'm not going to sit here and say Iowa money line, but I think this game is begging for everybody to take Purdue in what I would say is a bounce back spot after that loss. If you guys remember, I was on Illinois on Saturday against this team. Lots of rest here for the I was on Indiana on Saturday against Purdue. Lots of rest here for both teams since they haven't played since then. But, man, I really like Iowa in this spot. I think that's just too many points.
That game was disgusting.
Sorry.
That was just made me mad again. Haven't had the best last week. It's going to be a good day, though. I'm thinking it's going to be.
Why is that? Why can't we both just all be hot together? Like, I was, like, getting killed. Then I finally got hot again, and now I'm just, like, cruising, going 1 and 2 and getting annoyed with myself.
So sorry, I look like I was spaced out, but I wanted to run the numbers.
We love that.
80 or nothing. I have data to back that up. Last year, Wisconsin, I was very anti-Wisconsin. You know, told the coach, get ready for your second tee time, like in the worst clip in the history of the company.
That was right. A good one.
As it turned out, I was right, though. Wisconsin didn't make it to the second weekend. Now, why people were like who went there were very, very critical of me. Why do you hate Wisconsin? To me, data backs up. Like, you can look at a lot of different things. So Johnny Davis accounted for 30%. I think it was probably higher. 30% of their points. Going back like 20 years, I could get you the exact numbers. I'll tweet it out. Maybe I'll blog it. I think only like 4 teams have gone to the Final Four, or maybe 3 teams have gone to the Final Four with guys over 30%. One of them was Buddy Hield. Another one was Carmelo. So, like, special talents. Now, Zach Edey's fucking unbelievable, but he's scoring 30% of their points right now. And it makes it a little bit more difficult to sit, because, like, I do think it's easier to stop a guy like Buddy Hield, because if the shot ain't going, the shot ain't going. Edey's 7-4. So this might be one of those, like, go against the trends. It's like it'll completely reverse itself. But you're right. There is data to back up that Edey is scoring a boatload of produced points. So, and he doesn't get in foul trouble, which is hard to get him out of a game. So I guess I don't know which way I'm proving that point, because it is hard to get him out, but they rely on him a lot. The other thing with Iowa, I have no inside knowledge of it at all, but Patrick McCaffrey's on his 4th game back. I think they eased him in coming back. I think he gets a full workload tonight. Like, he played minimal parts. He was their second best player before he left. It's Murray and him. He provides a lot of offense. He's a big, like, 6'9" wing type guy, can go inside. I think we see a full workload of McCaffrey getting back in here, which could give Purdue problems too.
Well, I might have to tell you guys on Iowa State, because I did not want any play in that game, but maybe. I mean, not Iowa State, Iowa. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the game that I lost last night. Sorry,
Megan.
That one's still fresh on the brain. Again, that one, as soon as that happened, and again, I had the 4.5 for the parlay, and then I had the 4 for Iowa State. I mean, that was only there for like 4 seconds. And didn't matter though. But it's okay, because we're going to get back on track today. And it's going to start with James Madison. I'm going to take James Madison minus 3.5 at Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern can put up points, don't get me wrong, but this team is inconsistent as shit. The Dukes, the last 3 games, are only allowing 58.3 points per game. Well, the other side, Georgia Southern, last 4 games, allowing 73 points per game. The Dukes are just playing better basketball. They're controlling it. They have the better defense. I like James Madison minus 3.5. I know that they lost probably one of their best players last night, pretty much out for the year, but I don't think it should account for the 2 points that it moved. It was opened up at 5.5, I believe, this morning. It's now down to 3.5. If you like, or I think it's back up to 4 now. But if you like James Madison, I think this is a good spot for them. I'm also on Old Dominion money line against another Georgia team, Georgia State. Won 3 of its last 4, including 2 road games. Georgia State has dropped 5 of its last 6, and those are 3 home games they've dropped. So it's not like their crazy home atmosphere should do anything. But Old Dominion's offense just is better by a large margin, and they should be able to capitalize off of just terrible Georgia State defense. Those are 2 of my first plays of the day. So throwing those out there before we can get anything else.
Yeah, one other one I wanted to ask Rico about, since now his favorite basketball team is K-State, but we know his first love was Oregon. I didn't get to the window with this team yet. I'm kind of just creeping around, trying to figure it out, because the Pac-12 has not been great to me. But USC catching 4 at Oregon, like, I'm missing something here. I'm looking, trying to figure out who's out for the Trojans, going, all right, are they going to be shorthanded or not?
I do need Rico, because Rico's the one that he always comes with that Pac-12 knowledge.
And that's why I wanted to ask, because I really would love to get to the window with Oregon tonight. But this team is trending upwards, right? I think Dana Altman is going to get this team right. But, man, I don't know if I can lay 4 with them.
I was just going to say that. You know, Oregon I've seen, like, kind of on the bubble. They were a disaster early. Like, Oregon's a really, really good coach. If you look at their efficiencies – and Oregon's a very tough place to play. 38th on offense, 69th on defense. So, listen, I've avoided the Pac-12. Even like UCLA and Arizona, I don't really know. I think they're both title contenders. I just don't know out there enough about it.
I just don't know.
I know, like, and I watch it. It's not like, oh, I don't watch it.
I think that's fair. If you don't know, you don't know. If you're not getting a good read on a conference, Rico, I told Megan this last week on Thursday. I started writing down. So on my spreadsheets, I started actually shifting by conference because I'm like, God, the Big East has to be terrible. Sure enough, I was terrible in the Big East. So I was like, I'm just done betting it. And the Mountain West has been pretty good to me. Big 12's been good. SEC's been decent. ACC's been decent. So are you just not betting the Pac-12 at all? Have you not just been seeing it well? What's your thought process there?
Yeah, I just haven't been able to like get a great read on it. I
would agree with that.
I think a team to look at in that tournament just right now is Utah.
Okay.
Utah's at the top of that conference, and you know it's very hard for a one or two seed to win through that. You're obviously going to be chasing value. I kind of like what Utah has been doing, but yeah, it's tough. You just can't get a read. You know, it's weird. I also think you got to look at it again. I'll get the seeds for sure, but I think I saw a graphic the other day. The Pac-12 obviously has UCLA and Arizona. The rest of that conference is like fighting for 9s, 10s, like bubbles. If you're fourth in the conference and you're on the bubble, that's a little worrisome to me. Whereas the fourth team in the Big 12 might be a fucking 2 seed, you know? So
the
like
Big
I don't
12
know.
is just monstrous. Can we just that's the elephant in the it's not even an elephant in the room. Like the Big 12 is fucking monstrous.
And it's the same thing wild. With the ACC. Like the top teams in the ACC, you know, are going to get Virginia and Clemson will get whatever seeds they get. I don't think they're superpowers. And then the rest of them are like way down the list. So like to me, that's not a great conference. I say it all the time. We should have another weekend where we're getting conference challenges here to equate guys differently. You know, because right now we're only seeing Big East teams against Big East teams.
Right.
So is Marquette and UConn really good because they played DePaul, St. John's, Georgetown, and somebody else in a 4-game stretch? Like that's 4 wins. That's pretty easy. I'd like to see the Big Ten go play the Big East now. I'd like to see the ACC.
That would be very helpful for just like
they just don't do it. They just don't. They don't do it. The conference.
See, and you know why? Then you get guys that like complain. Like I really enjoyed that Big 12 SEC. Saturday where not every single team played one another, but like we're talking 7 or 8 games. It was fun to just have an out of conference games. It matters to some, it matters not to others, right? Like KU goes in, beats Kentucky, K-State beats the crap out of Florida, you know, Megan's LSU Tigers. Ugh. Yeah.
Right now, I'm only supporting the women. Right? I mean, they did cover the 10 yesterday. I think 10
It's not rocket science.
It was 11. They did not. That was 11.
We know where the Super Bowl is, right? Like you couldn't send 8 teams out there to play, not even in a tournament. Maybe it's just it's a round robin. Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, break up the conference, or Wednesday, Friday, Sunday morning. Like everybody's looking for shit to watch. In that town, people are going to go, you know.
I'm with you.
I agree.
All right. Do we have any more before we go? I have 2 more. Don't need a ton of explanation. I'm on Moorhead -2 at Little Rock. And I'm also on Montana State -3 at Weber State. That's
no UAB for Megan today?
No UAB for me. I feel like I've been getting a really bad read on UAB, and that started from the jump whenever I took Big Cat's parlay in the beginning of the year. It was like UAB and Jelly. Like over point. I don't remember what it was, but since then, every time I've bet on UAB, besides like once, I've just had the wrong read. It's just again, I told you guys before
on the basket too. North Texas legitimately puts lids on the basket.
Yeah, I just told you guys before. Usually, I'm a little hotter around this time of the year during this time with college basketball, but it's just been a little bit of a rough go. I'm going to blame my 2 sick kids and the fact that Harry Potter Legacy was released. So that's my excuses.
Harry Potter Legacy.
Yeah, I'm just fine. I have to go to class here in a minute after I get my kids. So, all right. We love you guys. Do you have anything else y'all want to put out? Any parlays? Any?
I've got nothing. I got to do a TikTok after this, Megan. I got nothing really else. I'm going to go do the Saturday spaces with you and Jeff. Rico, if you want to hop on, give us a best bet on Saturday morning, definitely feel free to do so. Like I said, last week we had almost 800 people in the spaces. It was awesome. I feel like there's like a lot of like stuff that we unearth just in our just general discussions. Like Megan will say something and then Jeff comments and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, light bulb, We should bet the over. So we're giving out a lot of stuff that maybe we're not just tweeting out. So it's a really good listen. We take some questions from the audience as well. So you guys can always jump in there and ask us about a game.
Funny thing is, the one game that I was going to add yesterday, I was waiting to see if Aaron Estrada was going to play, and I didn't put it out. But, of course, it was the one that I had the most money on, and I was just like, that would really stung too. So I wanted to throw that out there that I did get a 1 win yesterday. It just wasn't documented. I said it on Pick Central, so I was going to put it out, and then I just forgot. But it's okay. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Rico, again, we would love for you to hop on if you feel like it. You're always welcome on Money Shots. I would love to start getting you here on like every Thursday. That would be really cool if you had the time. I know you're in the kitchen whipping chickens, but
Yeah, no, I'll be back.
I can't. Your knife work. The night before I went to sushi, and you know how good they are with like a knife, and I'm just like watching this guy.
Well, I mean, you're holding a camera with the other.
And then there's you just like going like this, and I'm like, I can't, Rico, stop! You're stressing me out.
You need to get like one of those little headband things and like put your phone on the top of it so you can see like bird's eye view of how you're doing it.
Hilarious! We get him a GoPro.
All right, they're having a Rico over Che off in the chat.
Boy.
Hey, we love both of them here on Money Shots, and that's why Rico will be on Thursdays probably, and Che will probably come on Mondays. How about that? We'll just split hairs there, and then we'll have Nadu on Saturdays. We're getting freaky. We're throwing all kinds of fucking people in this mix. You never know who we'll have next. But we'll see you Saturday. We'll be back on Monday. Good luck with the big game. The big game. Everyone, good luck with the big game. So we'll love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks.
We gotta end the
Thanks, Rico.